Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to another Last Epoch Dip Stream. As usual, I'm your host, Mike, and you're looking down at not important stuff. Whoops. Well, that was my desk. And that's okay. As usual, I'm your host, Mike. Don't break the desk. Yeah, we're gonna be playing some Last Epoch. I'm gonna be answering some questions, hanging out, having some fun. I've been playing a summoner. Necromancer here, and I have recently got whoa, rough start here. It's okay, we'll find our footings. I found an Aaron's Will. I found it. Which means we are multi-bone golem time. It's going pretty good. And we're gonna start pushing through some higher corruption stuff, seeing what we can get done. Yeah, so if you have any questions, please feel free to ask those. Please put those in chat, put at Last Epoch Game. And then also in YouTube, please put at Last Epoch. We'll get those funneled into our questions document over here. I'll be happy to answer those. As usual, we do stream for charity. And whoa, the camera's looking weird. Oh, there we go. I think it's a little more normal. Oh, we're settling down, having some fun. Relax little stream. We also invested in vanguards now, so we've got about, I think we've got 19 minions at total if I've got all the zombies out. Maybe it's 20 with the beastie. But I am squishy, and so we are hunting something to keep us. Ooh, is that 3? Ooh. We're hunting for some health related stuff here. I spent so long looking for one of these. Oh, that's great. I didn't even imprint it. I should have imprinted it right away. That's hilarious. You know what? I'm actually going to change the imprints because I've got so many hollow fingers and I don't think we actually need them that bad anymore. So we are going to imprint on this one. This one is weapon or jewelry. I think we're going to do this weapon here to find better versions of that. And yeah, let's actually do the chest. Yeah. Okay, of course taking that off killed all of my golems. That's all right. A little outdated. We're good now. All right, let's get some questions going. And hopefully I don't just get... Whoa. Yep. The stun roar is real. All right, this is your, hey guys, this is your overdue not so weekly character sheet rework reminder. Thank you very much, appreciate you. Got to keep us on top of it, right? All right. Can you at least confirm if skill sigils will be making it into season 4? Yes, I can absolutely confirm that they will not. Thought I was pretty clear about that before, but they will not. All right. Not expecting an exact date, but if y'all are doing 4-month seasons, you are due for season 4 December 21st. Now I know y'all ain't releasing holiday week, so we're looking at after the holidays. I don't have a set time yet that I can say anything about when it's going to be. Obviously, there's lots of things that go into picking a time. Scope of the patch, like availability for people to work, and what's already done, and all that sort of stuff. So I don't have any specifics on when that's coming, but we are well into working on season 4 stuff already. It's going pretty good so far. Quite pleased. Loving the new Rift Beasts, but taking only one extra head adaptation just plops the second head to the side, making a whole beastie asymmetrical. Any plans to change that? No. It's a good point. But no, I don't think there's any plans to change something like that. It's fairly involved to get a change like that done. Partially because of the animator. Almost exclusively because of the animator. So chances of us pulling the trigger on something like that, I'd say, is low, but possible. Let's actually go over here and get. So we've got to get our corruption up to 300 here, I think. Is that right? Yeah, 300. So we're gonna be in here a while. I want to kill the boss a couple times. I'm gonna actually load up on this cemetery thing. Yeah. Right. Next question. Any plans to boost? I can make this bigger. We have the technology. My goodness. All right. Any plans to boost new mechanic Primal Hunt? Poorly rewarded mechanic compared to, for example, Nemesis. I mean, you can't get anything like this in a Nemesis, right? I think that there's, the initial release of it, there was a mistake that we made in the reward structure for it, which I think we've addressed, which is the fact that you couldn't drop any of the items from the Rift Beasts themselves. There were a few select ones, but the ones that you could purchase were purchase only and not drop or purchase. So yeah, I think that reward structure was a little bit not ideal. Sorry, my mom's calling me. It is not important. But we always check. I love my mom, but she doesn't have the greatest memory sometimes on timing of things. We've talked many times that this is what I stream every week. Since I've only been doing it for a few years, Yeah, that's too bad. Hoping to get some LP on that. Okay. More questions relevant to this game. Oh yeah, another Bone Climber. Still trying to get a 2LP version of that. Any plans to boost the new mechanic? I mean, I don't think there's any. There was no plans to make any major changes to the mechanic this season. But if you'd like to see changes for next season, that's on the table. All right. Any word on a roadmap internally for season 4 and beyond? I've asked recently, and I hope we had something soon. I don't have anything available at the moment to share with you about it. I I have no idea if one's even actually being made specifically for release or not. I do know, like, there's internal roadmaps for things that I would get in a lot of trouble if I shared. But yeah, I don't know if we have a public one yet. I am very interested in getting one out. I love having an updated version of that. The old versions of them that we do have out being referenced frequently are causing issues right now. And mostly just because there's nothing else to reference. I want... Where's that chess piece? Where are you? Why is it going in here? What? What? This is my Weaver's Will tab. What is going on? Is it because I put max 0 here? Minimum 1. Interesting. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Putting these in this tab because we want to keep them. I do want that just like force quick move into the tab that's open button. Okay, if I do this, where do they go? Good, 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 good. All right, fix the problem for now. Hey, Mike. Hi. Happy Friday. What's your take on the current rogue tree and particularly large investments in dodge that don't give too much, but also dodge as a mechanic? Are you guys considering some update to it or changes in rogue tree that will provide some other defenses? If I remember correctly, I could be wrong on this one, the base rogue and blade dancer trees in particular are lacking in the modernization category for skill trees. Let's go take a quick peek at them. Blade dancer. Totally 2 words, isn't it? It was 1 word. Not crazy. Yeah, threshold nodes are, yeah, they're very lacking here. There's 1. Yeah, it feels like, oh, 2. Yeah, okay, there's a couple. Not many though. I think that there's some modernization that needs to happen to the blade dancer tree probably. There's also more missing skills in rogue and blade dance than anywhere else, so like I think there's a high likelihood just from that. Like this is what we've always talked about, is the focus of new ability content for patches is focused around skills that are missing that, like classes that are missing those skills, and so adding new skills is something that's really important to us. And we've, the last few patches in a row, there's a pattern of add a new skill to a class that's missing it and update passives and other abilities associated with those skills, you know, and I think that pattern is going to continue probably. So I would look to classes that are missing skills and to see where updates are going to come, and passives that'll come with at the same time. If you're going to try and figure out where things were coming, that's where I'd start the investigation. As far as defense skill, I mean, rogue does have there's a lot of glancing blow, the shrouds, things like that. Like there's some variety in there. I think dodge is a weird mechanic in general, and I think that when you get into a lot of min-maxing stuff, it's rare that dodge in like many ARPGs, unless it's being leveraged through some other system, like converting it or guaranteeing it in certain situations or something like that. Dodge is pretty rarely used effectively, just because of the random nature of it and the unreliability of it. I'm considering switching out. So these rings, they give you +1 maximum skeletons, and this scales the maximum number of bone golems per maximum skeleton. And right now I need 2 more plus maximum skeletons to increase the total number of bone golems I can have. Because if I take one of these off, I keep all my golems. But if I take a second one off, I lose it. Is that right? 2 more? Am I 3 shy? I'm not even 2 shy. So I'm going to take one of the rings off. And I'm not sure what I'm going to put there, but I am really liking the extra minions teleported around you when you use traversal as an option on the boots already. Yeah, boots, belt, and ring I need right now. Not sure exactly what's happening with those slots yet. All right. Will we get a COF rework next season's? Prophecies can be a pain to farm. I think that like there's some key points in the UX of dealing with COF that I think will really make it a lot more natural in the way that you interact with the system. Because yeah, like there's a little bit of time investment in like, okay, I'm gonna get prophecies now and figuring out exactly which ones you want to do. I don't think it's a dramatic amount, but you know, it's a little bit more than I think some people are interested in doing. And there's a few things in that process that are just a little bit too high friction. So like, for example, the we kind of band-aided it here, but we didn't really fix it properly yet, is the when you're picking the prophecy reward icon being the same for multiple different types of rewards. So having the let me try to reroll that one. Yeah, that's way better. Nice. Nice. Perfect. No. And let's slap a few of these down. Here, okay, let's make a chain out. I just don't want to do this unless there's like a good set around here. It's not really a great set. Let's just put it there and see what happens. You go this way, actually. Any news on potential new subclasses like Barbarian? No news on potential new subclasses. I think the best way to tell us which ones you want to see. Barbarian's one like clearly gets brought up a lot. There's definitely a lot of hype around that sort of playstyle. But yeah, I have no info on what will be the first one when it does happen. There won't be a new subclass in season 4, I'll tell you that. It's a lot of won'ts, not wills this time, unfortunately, so far. What is the focus for next season? I can't tell you that yet, sorry. Gosh darn it. Not a great roll. Not what we were hoping for. It's okay, we'll use it to re-roll stuff. Yeah, just more. Couldn't get a second one, could we? The other ones didn't even drop. Any teasers for us today? I don't think I've got anything really groundbreaking to share with you today, but if you got questions about stuff, happy to answer still. Have I played Borderlands 4? No, I've not played Borderlands 4. Played a lot of Borderlands games. Oh, release date today. No, I have not played Borderlands 4. Yeah, okay, I played a ton of Borderlands 3. That's what the last one I played a lot of was. I've been so busy, I did not even realize it was coming out today. I know what I'm doing tonight. Are you satisfied about the number of players in LE? I will never be satisfied, but frankly, I haven't actually looked at the numbers really this season. My job's more to make fun stuff than to worry about player retention and numbers and stuff like that. So I'm got one. Let's go for more. From the question, I assume they're significantly lower than last season, but I'm not also that too surprised because last season was a way bigger patch. Yeah. One day I'll get it too. One day. I'm finding I'm struggling with mana a lot. And I want to get a bigger LP version of this so I can get mana on it. But at the same time, I'm kind of tempted to, oh my goodness, I've got a bunch of these because I re-equipped something. That's unfortunate. This and this, and I need to redo this tree completely. It's almost for sure these two. Yeah. All right. Can we expect to see more high quality cosmetics and skill MTX in the near future? Oh yeah. We need more cosmetics and skill MTXs. Yeah, I mean, like, check out how many came like this season. There was a whole bunch more that showed up. There's gonna be a whole bunch more next time too. Like, we're just gonna keep adding them and adding them and adding them. We keep getting asked for them. People like them. We're gonna keep adding them. I do like having the 3 charges on the boots, but there is a much better boot base. The 3 evade charges. There's a much better boot base that I need to get boot on. But while I have the 3 evade charges, it's real nice. Unique drop rates, experience. Yeah, I just do uniques. Right. Keep going. More questions. More questions. Bring in the questions. Hey, Mike. Hi. Just a tiny question. The crits are now shown yellow. With the old Unity version, it was more silvery golden. How to get that back? It looked much better. I can't say I've noticed a difference. That wouldn't have been a Unity change. That would have been something that, like, a color that someone would have had to make a change for internally. And so yeah, we could change it back, I guess. They don't look different to me. I don't know. I could be crazy. Well, we know I'm crazy, but drop it in the suggestions channel on our Discord. Check it out. Hi. How's... Whoa. Let's not die, because we're always really close to dying with this build. Oh, I don't have wraiths out. Why don't I have wraiths out? Oh, every time I specialize it. Nah. Hi. How's skills gonna work for masteries in the future? Is it gonna be 5 per mastery? Or can we expect more to come? Or The like the number that's here is sort of the current amount that we're trying to get all of them up to, but it's not the limit. Like you can see, there's still room here for more in this panel. There's still room to like slip more in this panel. Like there's room to put skills in the UI, and there's no hard limit. Like mage already has an extra one in this category here, so like there's no hard fixed limit, and we're gonna keep adding more skills as more masteries come in. Even if we need to add more skills before mastery comes in, we're gonna do that too. Let's see what we get here. Right. Any plans to add new slam skills? I mean, in short term, probably not. Long term, yes. Good evening, Mike. Good evening. Yeah, one of them saying gorilla. Good evening, Mike. Do you think we'll ever see a mechanic like infect or proliferate added to LE? Maybe something like Doom Death counter where after X stacks, X time mobs just die? Obviously with heavy balancing or on in-game bosses. I think it's meant to be end-game bosses. I would say it's possible. It's a very tricky. We do have a Doom already. And it does like a ton of damage after a very long countdown sort of thing. And we do have proliferate style effects still. Not quite the same. Yeah, I'd say it's possible, but I wouldn't. It is very tricky to make both interesting and be balanced. You know, it's really easy to put a mechanic like that in and have it either be broken or overwhelming. Underwhelming, sorry. Making it whelming is important. Just the right amount of whelming. With the crafted acquisition, can we expect larger seasonal content similar to season 2? I mean, yeah, it won't happen immediately because most of the things that we are able to start working on now because of that will take some time before they work their way through the pipeline and actually get released. But we've spun up a lot more development on various things, various aspects of the game, and we're going to start pumping out more content. Season 4 will probably be more on the scope of season 3 though than season 2. All right. Hi, Mike. Hello. How is the team feeling about the overall class balance at this point? I mean, I think it's decent, but there's always room for improvements. So when you're looking at like overall class balance, like the totality of the game and all the people playing and all the characters that are available and the class balance for all of it, like there's a lot of you can't, like if we're looking at the overall balance or everything, this is completely useless data for looking at overall balance. This just means literally nothing. And so I think it's tricky to see overall big picture balance information from what's available publicly. And I think I don't want to dismiss this because this is very valuable and important information too, and it's more of a targeted balance thing than an overall balance thing. Is that just T6? That's what I thought. We want a T7. Right. Was there anything you specifically worked you're really happy or proud about of this season? I mean, I didn't do much for season 3 really at all. Basically all I did for season 3 was like bug fixing and stuff like that, but also like implementing some of the ability for the Rift Beast to change its abilities and mutate their abilities and things like that. But like, I don't know, that was, I wouldn't, other people made the cool stuff that they get to do. Yeah, not a ton for season 3. It was some of the Primordial uniques that got put in were stuff that I suggested, which I was quite happy about. Probably that. There's a few long-term projects that I've been working on that are we'll be very proud of when they come out. All right. Hey Mike, any word on when Shaman might get its 5th skill? I'd say it's getting pretty close, probably. It needs, it's one of the few that's left. So there's what, Shaman's missing one, Paladin's missing one, Blade Dancer's missing one, Rogue's missing 2. Is that it? Shaman. Mage is full. Paladin's missing one. I said that. Acolyte's full now. Blade Dancer and Rogue 2. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So it's Shaman, Paladin, Blade Dancer, and Rogue twice. So one of those things I just said is probably where we're going to see skills coming from next season. I'm not going to tell you which one it is, but like the next few seasons are going to be where like you'll see new skills primarily focused on those places. Is what I would expect. I don't know past this season, but past season 4, I don't know where we're going to see which skills we're going to see, but that's the plan. Hey, Mike, can you talk about what went into the decision to make certain faction currencies ground pickup, Amber, Ancient Bones, but make COF gain favor on kill? Also, bonus question, are you considered one of the founders of LE, or is that title held by Judd alone? Yes, I am considered, well, it gets a little complicated if we're going to talk about exact, like, titles or whatever. I'm one of the founders of 11th Hour Games as a company. But I would not consider myself a founder of the project Last Epoch, because that was already going. The project for Last Epoch was already running before we founded the company 11th Hour Games. So kinda, not really specifically about LE though. I'm just happy I get to work on it. All right, what are we gonna do here? I think it's just bones, right? Exalted Armor was a good one. Good enough for another? No, not quite. Nowhere near. More stuff. Why do we make Amber and Ancient Bones pick up, but COF is on kill? It's a good question. I think mostly because favor applies to just about everything. But the Ancient Bones and the Amber are tied to specific interactions with specific enemies. So not every enemy can grant you Ancient Bones, and not every enemy can grant you Memory Amber. So there's like specific situations where those things are dropping, and having them appear as things in the world to go grab is more engaging than just a number ticking up, I think. Make this jump? Yeah, we can make that jump. A lot of int. Alright. Bro rarity doesn't affect in monos 1k corruption better than 13,000 corruption. Fix or no need? I mean, rarity does affect in monos. It might not be like the rate that you're killing things at might be faster at lower corruptions, thus making your overall farming potential higher. I don't think there's a major problem there. I do think that as soon as we're up into this 13,000 corruption, it's such a wildly high number that some of the scaling might start to not quite line up with expectations. It's definitely a sign of an extremely overperforming build, and like you're already into the tippy top of power tiers. Nope, wrong button. We're definitely looking at the way that player progression happens, and the way that you advance through monoliths, and the way that your gear acquisition and difficulty curve scales as you go through monoliths. Like that's definitely a very significant conversation we've been having recently. Improving that flow just in general for everyone is really important. Like right from entering the monoliths when you first get there to when you're into thousands of corruption, having that flow and that progression for characters is important. Do we have an updated build link? We don't have an updated build link. I can make one pretty easily though. What's this character's name? Ah, yes. Definitely not from anything. Just picked a random name. Save share. There we go. That there's build link just created. I guess I can just slap that in chat myself. Oh, not bad. Totally not Magic the Gathering reference yet. And my other characters are definitely not named Garuk and Gideon, and definitely not, I promise. There's no Jace. There's no Nissa. I promise there's none of those are named on my characters, other characters on this season, I swear. Oh, I guess I should have used a health potion and cleansed the poison on me and not just looked away from my screen. So good at this. All right, are the opinions on primordial items internally pretty positive? I was really excited to see all the new uniques added. Yes, I'd say. I think people are really enjoying them. There's a lot of new builds that have shown up because of it. There's definitely work that needs to be done on a like. Some of them are really fantastic, and some of them are not so fantastic. And we are absolutely looking at making them more fantastic in general. So yeah, there's definitely work to be done on some of them, but overall, yeah, very happy with them. I do think it's even the ones that are a little bit less positively received. I think there's still some really cool things that are coming out of those, and I'm excited to see builds that are like a little off kilter that show up because of them, and new ideas that people are able to inject into the game because of it. All right, can we get an alternative to farm items gated by Uberoth? Very unlikely. It's kind of like, I don't know, the point of having the Uberboth is having trophies for it. I think it's very unlikely we do that. It's possible, but I'd be surprised. If you'd like to see it, drop it in the suggestions channel on our Discord. Best way to get something added to the game. Ooh, piece of candy. This is a T7. That's a max roll T7. Okay, so we need it to have better base stats, which it does not in any way. Cool. Do you think you're going to see any changes for Tempest Strike anytime soon? Really want to play the skill as a main skill, struggle so much with its damage split and tree scaling. It's possible. I don't really have any specifics on upcoming changes for individual skills for next season that's available. I'm sorry to keep beating the same drum of like places you're going to see the changes the most are the ones where there's missing skills. I don't know which I don't know which one we're going to focus on for next season. That's not true. I do know which one we're going to focus on for next season. I'm not allowed to tell you which one we're going to focus on for next season. There we go. Sorry. In whatever vague words you need to use, can you tell us what you personally are working on for LE currently? I'm right in my wheelhouse. I'm nestled into something I'm real comfortable with, and I'm loving it. It's about as accurate as I can be. I might be unaware of this, but do you plan on allowing access to Temporal Sanctum when you skip the campaign through Arbor and Bastion? Currently, you have to go back, kill Hearten, and only then access. So I think that the key thing here, this question's come up a few times, once on Reddit, once on Discord, and I didn't understand what the question was about at first, and I do know what it's about now, and you've explained it a little bit more here, anyways. But the key thing here is that it's the waypoint. You want the waypoint for the Temporal Sanctum to unlock when you've passed it in the campaign. When you skip past it in the campaign. I could see my gut reaction to this problem is that some sort of unlock near the end game, like either. So the two options. One option is finding a key for it unlocks the waypoint. Which naturally has to happen once you've passed it anyways, or there being some sort of event in the end game, like unlocking empowered, or like something like that. Maybe it's just like completing any monolith echo or monolith timeline. Maybe it's reaching a certain level, but yeah, like some sort of like end game trigger to unlock those waypoints, I think could be possible. I don't think we have anything planned at the moment, but if you'd like to see one, drop in the suggestion channels on our Discord. I definitely won't be changing before season 4. That's not a little patch thing, I don't think. All right, will you add more descriptions and details to what are the differences between dots hits for mob defense stats? Mobs don't really have a lot of defensive stats. They just kind of have a lot of damage reduction, just like universal global damage reduction. They have basically no armor, basically no like hit or dot specific defenses. They have basically no yeah, kind of anything. It's just their health and their DR. Oh, it's a big one. Okay. Oh, Master Sword. 52 months. Wow. Thank you very much. That's crazy. Wow. Okay, we're gonna read this out. Hope you are doing well, Mike. Thanks for your continued communication with community and the constant responsiveness to the player questions. Thank you. That's so nice. And feedback on numerous platforms, especially through thick and thin. You're great, Mike. Thank you. P.S. I heard there are a few bugs in your game. Let's work together to fix them. Sincerely, Master Sword and LE Playerbase. Yeah. Thanks. Appreciate it. Yes, we're working on them. I don't know if this would work or not. I don't think we'd like it would be very. I don't think it would be very. I don't think we'd get a lot done. And so I haven't really suggested this to anyone at all. But I think it would be cool to do like a almost like live bug fixing event where like it like. So we kind of say like no bugs. We're doing streams. We're not gonna talk about bugs. We're gonna talk about the game and that sort of stuff. But like, just do like a cozy stream on Discord or something. Don't even do it on Twitch. Just like let people join if they want on Discord or something. And you know, I wouldn't be able to stream the screen at all, but just like get in voice chat with people and try and see if I could find any quick wins on long-standing things that were frustrating people. I think it'd be cool to try. I don't know if it would work or if it's possible or any of that stuff, but I think it'd be cool to try. I think we're gonna try and reroll this one. I think we're gonna go for the not that. We're just going for not that. It's unfortunate. Yes. We don't need. I need this. Yeah, I don't like that one. I just don't like it. Cool. We're gonna slap some more in here. Not doing these ones yet. Yeah, let's try and stretch out a bit here. Just so when we do, we can get a large bump to corruption. We did get one. I want better loot lizards. Because I like loot lizards. They're cool. All right. Any chance you guys are working on porting the game to console soon? There's no official stuff on consoles yet. It's one of those things that we've like for a long time we've been really want to do it. Maybe one day we'll figure out how to do it. And we're still kind of in that same situation. There's a lot of things we've tried to do to sort of preempt the get ahead of the game for certain console features that we know are going to be required, like a controller support that we've been working on and improving a lot. So yeah, like we're doing things that will make porting it to consoles easier when we do eventually decide to do that. But there's no news on it right now. It's still just we really want to, and someday we hope to situation. Is it possible to get a pause, at least for putting an egg in, items in the egg? It is, currently we don't have a way that we know how to do that. If we figure out a way to do that, yes. The offline client does pause right now. It's a lot easier to do pause in offline, my goodness. I think this is another one of those things, I could be wrong about this, but I think it's required for consoles to have a pause function. I don't know, I've never made a console game, but someone told me that once. Maybe just like a random Reddit post. But yes, pause is one of those things that we'd love to have in the game for online play. It's just, it's not something we have a good solution for right now. But yes, very interested in that. Because yeah, I would love to be able to just be like, all right, let me answer this question. Like, I died earlier this stream because I wasn't paying attention. Another one. Also pretty junky rolls. What am I getting on this? Ugh. Oy vey. Alright, speaking of MTX, the shop allows purchase up to 200p at a time. Any plan to raise that cap? Shop. 200, like points, just like, oh yeah, this. Not really. So these are each, like, there's no cost savings for larger bundles. That was something that we got a lot of feedback when we first put the shop in. That's something we got a lot of feedback on. That people really didn't want that. They wanted it to be a fixed price, and it was like you were always getting the right deal. And so yeah, we've held that. I mean, it's possible. It's like something that we can add. I don't know a good reason to do it. I think that would be the thing. Like, so if you drop an idea in the suggestions channel, like put Y beside it, because I can't think of a good reason right now, and I'm sure there is a good reason. I just don't know what it is. Right. Is the next skill rogue-based skill? Maybe. Using the stuff I was saying to try and figure it out, you can probably get pretty close. And rogue's one of the options. There's a chance. We don't need this. We're gonna just shatter it. Grumble, grumble, grumble. All these things we don't need. More of these? No, we want more of this. Yeah, just more of them. Just more of them. Yeah. More stuff to sort later. Was doing really well with sorting. How many sets can we expect next season? Some. There will be hopefully at least one. Actually, I know there's going to be at least one. Should be more, but there'll be at least one. One's being insisted on. All right. Why is the next skill a rogue-based skill? Tell us more about it. It might be. It might not be. Will this game get full-on expansions? Like, instead of big updates, maybe might even cost money because it's such a huge expansion, something like Diablo does, or no? It's possible. You know, we're not huge fans of that, of doing that, but it is, it's an option. I mean, it's something we considered doing for, depending on how season 2 went, it's something that we considered for season 3 as an option. Which we obviously didn't do. Bunch of garbage. It's probably a fantastic role for a different build. We're gonna redo that one. Will there be more uniques like Thicket of Binding Light, which makes walking simulator build possible? Maybe. There's quite a strong one now. I know like Righteous Fires type builds are quite popular. I don't know if that'll come through unique or some other method possibly. It's who knows at this point. I think it's a style that if we were going to add more, we would definitely do it with a different thematic twist. was my mistake. Come on, Mike. Hey Mike, what's your favorite / most memorable NPC, music, theme, and monster in the game? Music is just the opening theme, the title card theme. I love it. There's like a whole making of on it. It's great. Little video that goes with it. Big fan. The NPC, there's a brand new NPC that we put in the game for as a thank you to this person who made this sign behind me. It's incredible and I love it. And they're in the Lightless Arbor. You can find them in there. If you hunt around, you might be able to find them in the Lightless Arbor. That's what I'm going to say is my favorite NPC. All right. Most memorable though. Most memorable probably. I mean, from a name, I'm a sucker for Urza, but that's because of the I love magic thing. It's spelled differently, so it's okay, I guess. The person who named Urza in Last Epoch didn't know about Urza in Magic, and I heard it first before seeing it written, and I'm like, I don't know if we can use that name. But why? Why not? It's fine though. Alright, as we add new crafting options to the game, the number of steps to craft an endgame item goes up, yet our base forging potential hasn't changed. What are your thoughts on the longevity of the forging potential system in regards to crafting creep? I think that there's, because there's a limitation on how much forging potential you have, that sort of like mini game of how do I use it wisely and how do I find the most, how do I get the most out of what forging potential is here, and which options to skip and which options to try and use, and you know, like how good does the base need, how many things does the drop need to tick off right from the get-go in order to be considered a crafting option. You know, I think that's interesting, and I think there might be opportunities to raise the forging potential of certain things in certain situations, but I don't think it's a like pull the ripcord, add a way to add forging potential to items or anything like that, or like double the forging potential of items that drop or anything like that. Like I don't think there's room for emergency procedures sort of thing, but I think there's there could be room for some slight updates, but I don't think there's a major change that needs to be made personally. It's open for the future. Do you think in terms of helping resolve some of the COF friction, adding a separate secondary icon that indicates what the objective is would help? The objective is would help. Quite possibly. And you could even have like all three parts of it. Like objective, location, and reward as like a little triangle instead of a single dot, and like a button for reroll, a hockey button for reroll. And like I think doing that would cut out so much of the existing friction, like unnecessary friction. I think there's certain steps to the friction, like going to the observatory and like like stuff like that. I think that's really worthwhile to have. But certain parts of it are like once you're already in that menu, just having that interaction, that menu just feel better would be an improvement, I think. Do you think when will we get new achievements? Achievement hunting area. Hopefully soon. There was a bunch of achievement brainstorming that happened recently. I don't actually know what's holding that back right now. I hope it's just like UI. That'd be great. Give me that belt. All right. The Great Bridge. How's the recruiting going? How's the recruiting going? Got already a bunch of new talents? Yes. There's been more people starting on Last Epoch in the last few like last week or so than I think ever before in a single week. I don't have exact numbers to back that up, but it feels that way anyways from the number of like introduction pings that have been going out in Slack. If anyone was there that I didn't say hi to, I'm sorry. Hi, glad to have you. There's lots of great new faces showing up, lots of talented people. Yeah, I'm really excited about that. I love getting more people involved and getting new ideas in, and yeah, it's great. All right, do you plan to update a lot of old uniques? Oh, that was close. There are some uniques that are on the update list. It's not a huge focus in general, but there's definitely some that need a little bit of revitalizing. I think it's hard to just not power creep them. Tragedy. At least we've got a 2LP version of it already imprinted. This one. So we've got two different things. Even if they're both kind of whatever. Cold resist is nice. Ooh, getting real close to jumping into that meteor. Nice. Is it technically possible for players' pets to interact with each other in town, or for NPC to scatter food and have pets gather around it? This is one of those things that is very tricky. Like surprisingly tricky to do. And the short answer is yes, it's probably technically possible. Do we have a way of doing it available to us right now? No. The way we'd probably have to like fake it is to have the interaction only happen. It would be like a cosmetic only interaction, so it's not actually a functional interaction. Have their positions, like have the pet object positions remain static and have the motion be done through animation only, and have the interaction itself actually only happen on the client machine. So like if two of us were in a game together and we each had different pets, and having those two pets like interact with each other, the interaction that I see on my screen might be different than the interaction that you would see on your screen if they were the same pair of pets interacting. So they, like, you might see them interacting over here and I might see them interacting over here or something like that. And I think that would probably be largely fine, but it wouldn't be quite what people would hope or expect for. Yeah. Let's just start dumping stuff in there, I think. Just get a bunch of stuff. Get a bunch of those. We're going wild. All of items. Probably shift clicking these, it would be go faster. No. Should have seen that coming a mile away. All right. Beauty. Got a bunch of those set shards. We'll use them on various stuff at some point, hopefully. Okay, what do we got here? 33. It's not a lot. We should be able to get an extra gaze. You can actually use a needle and get several extra gaze. We might be able to get that pretty close, actually. All right. Hi, Mike. Hello. How big a portion would you say Chapter 10 took of the total dev time for Season 3? Was it something that was being worked on since a really long time ago and such didn't really impact the pipeline for other things that were able to be worked on for Season 3? Or did it take up a large portion of dev time in between Season 2 and Season 3? Even 1 and 3? Yeah, it took up a large portion. There's lots of different buckets. So the art team and and there's a lot of different things that those teams interact with as well. So like, so there's a lot of let's drill down on one specific thing. So let's look at animation for a second. In Season 3, we added the new chapter, and there's a ton of new enemies that came into the game, and they all needed animation work done. So they all needed to have like running and dying and attacking and secondary attacking and things like that. So there's all this animation that has to be done for that. So then if say a unique item design wants to come in and have a unique item that changes an ability to be from just a use and throw to it's a now channeling ability, and it's like throwing while channeling, so it needs to have new animation for that. So because the animation team is locked up on doing like for the new enemies showing up, you just can't add that. So you have to find other ways to add new things to items. You're like the things you have available that you're allowed to make with items, it's limited based on the availability for other departments in some situations. So there's knock-on effects like that happen. And when you say dev time, I assume we're talking like just like whole studio dev time. So there's like most of the time for a lot of these things was from like the art team was a huge part of it, and there wasn't a ton of people that were working on code related things for the new chapter. There was definitely some, and they put a lot of work into that, but it was like the volume of people and total dev hours, it was probably more concentrated on the art team for sure. But total amount of dev time overall for Season 3, for Chapter 10 work for Season 3, it was very substantial. It was quite a lot. It's been in development on and off for a very long time. But the vast majority of that work was done between Season 2 and Season 3. Ooh. I knew I heard one. Taking off. We got a runner. Got him. Those couple runes. Can't pass him up. But yeah, that example extends to everything. Like level design was very busy with the new content, which means that there's not a lot of time for level design to make like new woven echoes, say, and sound design was really busy with all the new enemies that had to get created. So there's not a lot of time to, like, if you want to make a fire conversion for an ability, suddenly you need sound to make that fire sound change, and that might slow down the new ability stuff. So there's lots of knock-on effects for like other styles of content that run up against similar professions not having time. Shouldn't even end up in this tab. Ugh. Some tab is full somewhere. Okay, let's go. Let's make sure we get a needle. That one somewhere else, apparently. of needles. That's funny. This I wanted to be teal. Ba, 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 ba. It doesn't matter. We're going with what we have. Nope. Nailed it. First try. How do you feel about the closeness of access to tier 6 and tier 7 exalted items? Should there be more space between these dropping to stretch out first time player progression? Yeah, I agree. Yes. What about having a boss like Aberoth unlock T7 affixes? I don't think normal Aberoth. I think normal Aberoth is too far to do that. But yeah, I think there's room for specific like item configurations for exalteds that could show up after certain achievements were reached. I don't know exactly what that looks like, and I have no specifics and don't know if anything like that's going to happen, but I may have pitched something extremely similar to this 2 days ago. Yeah, I think there's definitely room for that sort of thing, and I think that there's also room for something like that to go horribly wrong, so we have to be very careful about how we do it. Another one, just one, the single though. Oh, a little bit of stuff that's better. That's actually better. Because we don't care about the necrotic penetration. Sweet. So I just gotta find a perfect T7 axe again. No problem. Be a little problem. Okay, slap this back in here. This is going in the good tab. 58. Still a little ways away. Do we try and just do another one? Crank the gaze up right now. No, we're just gonna run this. Okay. Should stop picking up 2 LP kestrels. I should filter them out. All right, 303. We're there. We can just do it. Can we just do it right now? We can just do it. Oh, I'm really far behind on questions. My goodness. Okay, we're gonna beat this boss. We're gonna beat this boss first try, no question, easy. Definitely not setting myself up for failure here. And we are going to. Oh. We're gonna rapid fire some questions off here. Did he like run off into the muck? Yeah. Here we go. 21. All right. Okay, we're gonna rapid fire some questions here. Would you guys consider working further on the Nemesis system? I love the Nemesis system and would love to see it evolve. It's possible. It's a pretty great system so far, and I think that adding in like new systems to go with it would probably be more cost effective from a dev time quality standpoint. But yeah, there's room for minor adjustments, I think, and improvements, and I think there's room for also like it to tie into other systems possibly as well. Like it tied into the Weaver tree and things like that. All right, so you chose to ignore Swarmblade and Locust debacle. No. When you're addressing the uncaring of Swarmblade on Locust, no own summon Locust skill tree when casting the caring. I apologize. I do not know what this question is asking. If you'd like us to change something, drop it in the suggestions channel. Can we expect more endgame bosses and Ubers with each season? I think it's something that we should have done with season 3 and didn't. I'm not prepared to commit to every season having it, but I would really like to, and I'm going to push for it. All the new stuff that added this season was awesome. There's nothing new to test it against. Yeah, I agree. What are the chances of bringing something to the game like a build your own weapon, with the weapon having parts like a sword hilt, blade, pommel, and tang? I think it would be a pretty cool addition. Yeah, this is a tricky one. Partially because like every weapon type doesn't have the same number of like reasonable parts to go with it, and you can get pretty close, I think. But like a build your own base type is it's interesting, and I could see it being fun. The way we've got the base types coded right now, it doesn't work great. And like would probably have to be kind of like slipped in as like a kind of like a Maraphage situation where like you can kind of build it, but it's kind of weird how you build it. Something like that. But we could build a new system for making custom base types as well. Like that's possible to make. I don't know how involved that is. What are the does it ever blow you away to see how far Last Epoch has gone? Yes, every single day. I am frequently overwhelmed by how amazing Last Epoch is and all the people playing it, and yes. All right. Is the ailment Doom a healthy way of giving power to all melee builds? Maybe. Most people feel like it's a tax because there's no better option. Using Shattering Chains Belt, Siphon of Anguish Ring in endgame is especially immersion breaking when playing non-void build. Why does a fire melee benefit from such a void ailment? Yeah, that's a really good point. I want to try one here just to see how far we get. See how quickly we just get our bases stomped on. Should we just see? Let's see how bad it is. Can you tell us? I said I was gonna rapid fire a bunch of questions, and I'm like, more content, yes. Can you tell us if season 4 will have a faction or won't have a faction? I can't tell you actually. I don't know. I don't think it will. I don't think so. On the topic of skill balancing through buff/nerfs, I am curious what's the rule of thumb that dictates when a skill needs to either be buffed or nerfed. Myself personally, I love chasing big crit numbers and will ignore everything that can keep me alive just to squeak out bigger numbers, and I always die a little on the inside when a non-bug skill gets dialed back. I mean, anything that is wildly above everything else, it gets dialed back, and everything that's wildly below everything else gets buffed up. It's kind of the easy way to put it. When can we possibly expect a new transformation in any class? Having another transformation would be absolutely epic. Yeah, I think that's going to be a while. Having transformations appear in other masteries would be rare. The one like the existing masteries just don't have great theming for transforms, I don't think, apart from the ones that they're already using it. And I don't think Lich having another transform would be great. Druid getting a new one would probably be the next place I'd look. I mean, maybe somewhere else, but there's not like you kind of have the like a lot of the core archetypes already dealt with the existing transformations, but having another one would be cool. I think there's just too much that needs to be done elsewhere, and transformations are a very heavy dev ask. Like if you look at an ability like Puncture compared to like Bear Form, Puncture is a quarter, not even a quarter, a tenth of the work of Bear Form. Yeah. And we've got Rogue, Paladin, and Shaman skills that need adding in first. All right, what's your favorite underutilized Primo unique? I mean, I'm surprised Harmony. I'm not seeing Harmony pop up as much. Fractured Crown, just because of the story behind it. Yeah. Do you feel the Lich update was successful, or was it just overshadowed by Primalist? Maybe I wonder if releasing large updates one at a time may be more successful. Yeah, I think it's a good way of putting it. I do think it was largely successful. Yeah. How far down the road are we from having something like a Psionic Void melee class subclass? Seeing something like a Void Blade on your fist would be super interesting. Bring new playstyles to the game. Yeah, like Psylocke style thing. Yeah, I think it'd be sweet. How far down the road? Probably a ways down the road if we're gonna do something like that. Yeah. I haven't seen anything like that. Can we expect new primal uniques seasonally or occasionally? I would say occasionally is probably more likely. Can you share any leaks of the new sets incoming? I cannot. They're going to be pretty awesome though. Well, the one that I know of that's going to make it is going to be very awesome. It's something that we've been waiting for a long time. Okay, will we be able to walk by and auto loot shards and glyphs like we can gold? Maybe. It's something that I've seen asked a lot recently. This is a big topic. I can probably talk about this while we're trying this out, see how we do. Probably won't last long anyways. We have been very hesitant to add more things to the auto pickup options. We haven't had a ton of items that fit well in the like ooh, piece of candy type item slot where you're like, oh cool, I'll pick that up. And having enough things that you say, hey, I want to pick that up in the game is important. And that moment of, hey, I want to pick that up, that decision, that moment is important. Having it be like gold where you do still have to run over to it, I think is possibly a good option, because it is, you are still making that decision to, I'm going to go get that because it's over there. You still have to do some sort of action to go get it. I'm personally not a huge fan of having a pet that goes and does it, because you lose that intentionality completely. You know, it's all stuff that we would talk about. And if you'd like to see it, as always, I'm sorry to keep saying it, I'm going to say it every time. Suggestions channel is the place to put it. Yeah. After fighting Season 3 champions, do you think their HP got lowered too much? And whether their damage is okay but die relatively fast compared to beasts? Possibly? Maybe because they're less central to the current version. They're... This is going surprisingly well. which is like the most classically famous last words ever. Yeah, there we go. There we go. No problem. We're not far though.
My name is
Yeah, she's golden.
My brother is waiting for us.
And this shows my age. When I think of the word golden in some sort of like pop star thing, I do not think of an animated show. Why is this going into here? What is going on? These have LP on them. Oh, it's because that's why. Figured it out. I did it. We got there. Okay, I want to I'm gonna go do a Soulfire Bastion, which I have to go get the waypoint for. Hey, I wonder if someone asked a question regarding this recently. Down here, is that? Never remember where the entrance is. No, wrong way. Okay, more questions. Have you thought about adding seasonal challenges that reward skins that work for as long-term goals to increase the time I play a season by a lot? Yeah, we've looked at things like that. I think there's a lot of room for stuff like that that's like clear challenges for players, with like cosmetic rewards and stuff like that. And it's a great way to add stuff to the game for players. Yeah, I think it's just fun. Like you can even have specific rewards, like in-game rewards, not just cosmetic rewards, but you'd like require completing certain content, things like that. Like, and it could be different each season. Even I think that'd be a cool part. Here we are. Here we are. How do you expand on a game with many systems without it being overwhelming? Adding more systems, I fear, might be fragmented. Yeah, there's certain systems that we've tried to add in specifically to like, yeah, just that does split things up a little bit, but also you know, have them interact with each other. So when for example, when we added the Weaver tree, it like is a great place for us to add things to augment other systems in the future for, and we added things that augment like the Nemesis system and things like that. This is why I wanted to come in here. There's a bunch of prophecies that I've got for various dungeons. I want to get them done so that I can get some new prophecies. It's gonna happen a few more times probably. Egg something. Let's just do this because it's here. Did that not? Weird. Okay. Proceed. And like, so example, dungeons, like we tried to build some systems that allow us to add on to them in an intuitive way such that we can increase the depth without increasing the complexity too much. So like, for example, by with this faction system, we can add in a new faction, and the weight of like learning the interaction for that faction, this UI, doesn't need to get learned again for someone. So you can learn the way this UI is laid out one time, and you get multiple sets of content for that one type of UI. And so doing things like that, we try and do to relax the complexity you have to learn. You can kind of like buy some depth by reusing complexity you already have. All right, wave a magic wand. What new rune do you make? Problem is that we did recently just add the stuff that I've been wanting to add. Honestly, I think it's just like Rune of Envy. And it's just Glyph of Envy that got changed into Rune of Envy. Or like okay, I've got it. I got it. It's think of a new name for it. Rune of just Rune of Corruption. Just say it. Yeah, I think that would be the one. If I had the power to wave a magic wand and do that. We've been talking about, like, I've been mentioning something like that on stream for like a year now. I just forgot about it. All right. Hey Mike, will there be an implementation for DPS gauge on the testing dummy? We don't plan on it right now. That's something we do get asked a fair bit. It's tricky. Having a clear cut, this does more damage than that measuring stick that players can look at has the tendency to cause some homogenization of builds, where you can be like, okay, well, this one doesn't hit a specific DPS mark that we can measure, and therefore is no longer a viable build because it's below 1,000,000 DPS or whatever. And you know, I think that you can get a little tunnel vision on just increasing that DPS number, that sort of thing, instead of how well does it actually perform in the game. Because there's lots of little things that you can't, that's hard to quantify on a training dummy. So, for example, these three golems here and all the other minions too, they block projectiles, which is like a defensive quality that this build has over something that has no minions whatsoever. And I think that's something that you can't really quantify by looking at just the DPS number. So sometimes they don't tell the whole story. At the same time, it's sometimes really hard to tell if your plan for increasing your character's power is actually going to be increasing the power when it's a very marginal change. But those little marginal changes is a lot of the depth that's the juice that people are looking to squeeze out of the game in a lot of situations. So having better tools for that is something that we are interested in doing. Perfect tools for that might not be positive. I don't know yet. But yeah, it's a discussion we're having. If you'd like to see it, you know where to go. Drop it in the suggestion channels. We're just gonna keep buying these. Garbage all the way down. That's fine. You know what? Now we're gonna go. You like the server. We're gonna have to go find this one too. Oh, looks like we're cutting off questions pretty soon. Apparently, I need to do one question every minute to complete all of the recorded questions here, just to be done on time. So, thanks for that, Kane. Appreciate you. We're gonna cut off some questions here. Unless you got a real pressing one, get it in quick. But we're gonna try and run through some of these here. Would / have you ever considered the possibility for us to upgrade an Exalted with T6 to a T7? Yes, we have considered that. I don't think that's something that we are probably going to do. If I have an item with 3 T6s and upgrade them to a T7, thanks for a great game, by the way. Yeah, thanks for playing our game. You're welcome. I'm glad you're having fun. We've tried to pretty firmly keep, and I know there's an exception we just did to this, but we've tried to pretty firmly keep them out of being typically crafted. It's not impossible. We've kind of just broken that rule, so there's room for it to be. I think there's room for that fact to be leveraged a little bit, but there's no plans to change it at the moment. The whole making sealing a T7 and making it a T8 being the way you can craft exalted affixes right now. When's the Beekeeper set gonna appear? They've been hibernating for so long. It's like, I don't know when we'll see it. When we do, it's gonna be really awesome. I hope. There's for a long time there's been proto set sitting in the game files that I know if anyone's done any data mining on it, they've seen, hey, there's a Beekeeper set sitting there in the game files. It's got like no mods on it and it does nothing and it's not released and it's just a placeholder because we were like, we want to do it at some point. No, do not get those mixed up in there. I think we can just jump. Oh, let's see if we can find. Wild that it has one already finished, even though we've never done it. All right. More questions. Capped corruption and LP when? I don't think we're ever going to cap corruption. Oh, hi, Lizard. I was just be able to say, like, we were talking to Lizard about this a while ago. I don't think we're going to cap corruption. I would love to see a change to the way corruption works. Having it be a little bit more tiered, I would love to do that. Let me go around. LP capping, there's no plans for that either. I'd still love to see it. I'd love to see, like, I think the hard part is I would really like to see LP be able to be restricted based on corruption and have corruption be more granular. But that's such a huge change. I don't know if that's something that we're really prepared to do right now, or if we even want to. I don't know. I hope something like that happens soon, but I really don't have anything to back that up at all. I do appreciate that video you made, though. Thank you for that. Has the dev team been happy with how Primordial uniques fit into the game? They have the potential to augment strong builds. Even more interesting, the difference between builds. Any thoughts on this? Yeah, I mean, overall, I've been really pleased. I think that there is I think there's a lot more potential. And there's certain builds that just didn't land because the Primordials just weren't strong enough. I think there's other ones that, like, there's a lot of things that we could have done to make the system better. I think it was really good overall, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. I'm not sure if asked already, but have you considered Hideout MTX? Yes, many times. And also specialize stash tabs for uniques sets. Currently collecting uniques, and would love to have a tab to know easier what I have. A Grail tab, yeah. But I do love the tab. Yeah, so I think a Grail tab, and I'd love to do a Grail tab. The Grail being like it was a term for, I assume it's been done in other games too, but the one I know from is Diablo 2, where the Grail is finding one of every item in the game. And I don't think we have any specific plans for that at the moment, but I am still advocating for it and would love to do it. The hideout MTX it's tricky. So we don't have a hideout system at all at the moment, and we have to make a hideout system to have MTX for it. And I don't want to make a hideout system specifically to put MTX in the game. You know, there has to be a good reason to make a hideout first, and then hideout MTX could come after. I think having I think there's other ways we could do hideout-esque MTX style of system that would work really well, that I'd love to see. Hi Mike, since you're playing very similar build to mine, how do you feel that someone made traversal node has a 4.5 second cooldown? Great. Don't you feel it's too long? Nope. Why does this be so long on a cooldown? What purpose does a long cooldown serve? As I can't figure it out. I mean, it's having the ability to blink across the screen at a moment's notice whenever, no matter what, is extremely powerful, both offensively and defensively. I think it can lead to content skipping and just, you know, less caring about, like, it makes it all about the destination and not about the journey. No, I actually Summon Skeleton Traversal is one of my favorite ones. It's got a ton of range on it, and it can jump lots of gaps that some other ones can't do. Like there's a lot that can't do this gap right here. So yeah, I really love it. Increased cooldown recovery is also a very useful option for two of those. Very useful option for it. Yeah, cooldown's 4 seconds. I don't know, it feels good to me. It feels really good. I was actually just talking yesterday to one of my buddies about how much I'm enjoying this as a movement skill. And it might be because I have 3 evade charges as well. That might be contributing to it. I did previously have a pair of boots that had a T7 increased cooldown recovery on it, and it was a big difference in the duration between there. It is a little frustrating resummoning them at the start. So like, I almost wish cooldowns didn't exist when you're resummoning them at the start. All right. Any chance we'll get custom filter sounds in the near future, or should I buy a lottery ticket? We're not planning on allowing you to load in specific sounds like someone screaming or something like that to play when an item drops. I could see us adding more sounds, but not custom. We don't have plans for custom ones at the moment. All right. Now that Avalanche is not killing you as much, what's your new nemesis skill? The one that gets you killed the most. You're absolutely right. Avalanche was the one. I haven't noticed something major recently. There's a lot of classics like the Sun Mage, can't remember what they're called. The ones that do the mini meteors. The Raya dudes. You know. Should know their names. Those guys. Whatever they're called. What's Ichi's current stance on enabling walking simulator builds, such as the Reflect item introduced in 1.3? Is this something Ichi plans to continue to enable in the future? I'm personally not a fan of that playstyle, especially when it is stronger and more rewarding than builds that are significantly more active and engaging. I think the fact that it is, I think it's a good playstyle to have available in the game. I think. I think that it is too powerful at the moment. Oh well. Love it. I think it's overpowered right now. and I'd like to see it brought down to reality. But it is something that we do like having available in the game because it's something that people like to play. For the unique small idle singularity, what was the thoughts behind limiting it to just one? I understand the limit, but never got why it's set at one. If you make it more than one, then and if one of them is worth wearing, then your entire inventory is probably worth filling with it. So if the limit is 2, you're gonna have 2. If the limit is 3, you're gonna have 3. If the limit is 4, you're gonna have 4. Like it's one of those things where the limit is that the amount you're going to play is either 0 or the limit because of the style of item. Because the downside is a fixed negative that doesn't stack, but the upside does stack. So you're gonna see just whatever the maximum number you're allowed to equip is. If you're gonna do all or nothing, no matter what. So yeah, that's why. What level is this? Oh, 22. Okay. So I don't need to be worried. That's good to know. Can I just take these hits? Okay, cool. Let's answer some questions. Hi, Mike. I've noticed that the last couple seasons have introduced special attacks for enemies that haven't used animation. Erase Possessions, Rift Beasts, Crystal Heart Barrage. These attacks can be used in between or even simultaneously with a mob's normal attacks. What design considerations goals went into having those attacks work this way? Usually just providing a little more danger and pressure in the situation. That was weird. Animation was off there. We're not going to put a ton of money into this at all. Because we're broke and we need stash tabs. I'm not even going to do it. I just wanted to roll through the possible prophecies, but there's probably prophecies that we needed to do that were higher tier. Okay. We are free to start farming better blessings on ones that we might not have grand blessings. Like this one, we don't have a grand blessing. And it's a bad one too. Last Epoch has an endless scaling system. Yes, but builds seem balanced only up to about 2,000 corruption. Beyond that, it just feels like everything one-shots you. Do you plan to add more defensive mechanics for higher corruption levels? Like 2,000 is, we're into extremely high, mega hard, like super pushing difficulty. This is where 2K is into extreme high, like this is very, very high levels of corruption. I am aware that there are corruptions that are significantly higher that are possible with certain builds that really lean into this glass cannon situation, and it's just if I get touched, I'm dead, but I can kill stuff fast enough that I will keep pushing corruption, sort of thing. And I think that's kind of the issue is it almost needs to be harder to do that, I think, which might be the opposite of what you're asking for. But there's definitely like top tier builds do not invest in defenses at the moment. So there's room to invest in defenses for the absolute top builds. But and they wouldn't go as high. It's just that offense is better to invest in than defense right now for corruption pushing. I think that's kind of the problem. Maybe enemies need more health. I don't know. Probably a better solution than that. But 2K is already really, really, really high. Yeah. All right. What are your thoughts on making seasons 5 to 6 months in between and really serving up huge seasons? I'm torn on it. I don't think I don't know enough about the numbers to make a good decision on that. Personally, I'm not. I'm too much on the like, let's just make the game fun side of things than the let's figure out the best business decisions side of things. I do like the idea of getting more content into the seasons than we managed to in season 3. Just in general, which I think is kind of what the ask is here. The feedback we generally got from players on season 2 was that, yeah, it was awesome and great, and it was a lot of fun, but it took way too long to come out. And I think the feedback we're getting from people on season 3 is that it might be a little light on content in general. And that might have something to do with the fact that some of the content that we put out for it isn't something that a lot of players really like to engage with a lot, being the campaign content. And it might also just be that there isn't enough content in general. So I think we've got to get a little bit more data on what type of content, if like the type of content really affects the volume level that players are engaging with and enjoying and that sort of stuff. But yeah, I'm really bad for trying to squeeze more stuff in. Like, yeah, let's add this one more thing. Let's add this one more thing. I'm really bad for that. So it's good that there's people that are level-headed telling me no a lot. But yeah, I maybe go with maybe. All right, can we get a chance of obtaining the visual appearance of a killed creature / monster, which we can put on a similar size of pet? Oh, just like capture an enemy as a pet. Maybe that's pretty cool idea to do. I think part of the problem there is that the visual distinction of is this a good thing or a bad thing, it gets blurred. And especially in multiplayer, having a situation where you can spawn things that look like enemies to your allies is potentially problematic. Yeah, that's not bad. Not bad at all. All right, running out of time, running out of questions. Will we see a hardcore run by Mike in the future? We can do that. I tell you what, if I manage to kill Uberoth, I will start a hardcore character immediately after. And we'll just play that, and we'll play it SSF hardcore. We'll do. Okay, tell you this. Okay, how about this? If I manage to beat Uberoth, we'll do a SSF, like SCF hardcore veterans boots run and see how far I can get. How about that? And then right below, is masochist mode often requested? Not very often, but I'll do it. That's the veterans boots. Would EHG consider implementing an in-game build planner guide system that is shareable? Yeah, that's something we've talked about. I think there's a bit of a slippery, not slippery slope. I think there's a bit of a tricky situation that can happen when you do that. It's the whole situation of like having your build saved and being able to come back to it after a hiatus and know exactly where the points are going to go is good. And figuring all this stuff out to be able to put them in like quickly on the fly and that sort of stuff, so you're not having to refigure out what build you're doing and then realize you made a mistake and go back and change it later and reference a third-party site and all that sort of stuff. Like that's all like used. I don't want to use the term properly, but used in the like golden path scenario. It's the wrong term for the term. It's the wrong way to use the term golden path, but like I think there's ways to make it really great. And I think there's ways that it can be unfortunately used by players by mistake to be frustrating and not a good, and end up so you don't learn about the skills and you're not able to make your own builds ever because you just have no idea what anything does. And that can happen without a system like that too. But I'd say it's on the table, but not something we're really planning at the moment. Why don't all skills have their DPS numbers shown and some are just blank? Because some of them don't work. It's literally as simple as that. When will DLSS be implemented? I do not know. Hopefully soon. I don't know though, I'm sorry. Do you have a go-to guide as to how to search for stuff in stash, like LP1? T7 helmet, but be more specific, No, I don't. We put out a list of the major things, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, that's it. I don't have a good resource for that. I'm sorry. Is anything in the game guide? Stash searching. Here we go. Here's everything. Yeah. Game guide coming through. Thanks, Carve. Carve put that in there. Well, that entry. I'll brag. Something I was proud of putting in. I put in the game guide of the first version of it. Haha. How about giving the veterans boots a bit of crafting potential? They just feel a little too punishing right now. I'd say it's very unlikely to do. I think there's room to make the veteran system better. It taking up a boot slot, it affects build crafting in a way that I don't like. Because there are certain boots that are required for certain builds to work, so you just can't play certain builds in veterans mode, which is frustrating. I think that's the worst part about it. So I'd like to see that change, but I don't know how best to do it. Oh, I thought I was done with that one. All right, will smite casted from other melee skills ever get concentrated ground? Unlikely, I would say. Consecrated ground, I assume is what it means. Consecrated, yeah. I'm not sure what I'm looking at these pictures. It's just for reference. Oh, you thought they meant fissure, not consecrated ground. We try to have incentives for direct casting abilities, specifically so that there is some reason to direct cast them. And triggering sub abilities is a very common way to do that. Also because when you are triggering the ability and not manually casting it, you're not using any of your action economy to create that object, which means that there's sort of like just extra visual noise that's getting created from you doing something else. So like taking action A, creating object B, which creates object C, which creates object D, which creates object E, having that chain happen can be a dangerous remedy, a dangerous situation for having the screen be just full of stuff and not be able to see what's going on. So having those chains limit themselves, and when they're creating those like having the C and D spawn require B to be manually casted instead of triggered, shrink the possible chains that can exist. So that's kind of the main reason we do that. It's a generic answer for the specific situation, but it falls under that case of why we do that sort of thing. Are you guys considering making the stash sorting system closer to loot filter in terms of exalted items? I assume we're not talking about sorting actually, but we're talking about the quick, like the options in the tab priority here. I think we are expanding this tab priority options. I think that's something that we're working on, because there's certain things in here that people want to be able to do to make things sort quicker into their like auto filter. What do we call it? Tab priority. Did I just enable a tab priority on one of these? Maybe, I don't know. We're definitely expanding. We're doing a bunch of stuff with the stash to expand it and improve it, and improve the layout, improve the functionality, improve the like rolling over, seasonal rollover stuff, improving the way you make tabs, the way you remake old tabs. Like we're making some big changes to the stash. I don't know how long that's going to take, but there's a project to really improve upon what we've got, because we've got a really good base here. And there's a lot of really great features, but like they all could kind of use just a quality bump, just a little quality bump. All right, Delve when any plans on revamping Arena ladder? Currently takes 5 to 6 hours to push to the top end ladder. and it is really a pain. Starting out only half your previous run feels really bad, and the arena is so slow. There's some changes there that need to happen, yeah. I'm not sure exactly when that's going to be or what that's going to look like, but yeah, that's on the list. We're running out of time, so I'm going to answer this last one quickly. Is there any consideration for opening up full trade with friends after playing together for a very long time instead of the resonance system? I'd be shocked if we did this. In my group, we are constantly gated by obsidian resonances, and it doesn't make any sense why we can't fully trade after playing together for tens of hours. So I agree that there is the friction there is a little frustrating from time to time. I do agree with you there. And I think having the peer-to-peer trading was quite helpful there, especially if you were playing Merchants Guild. There's a lot of issues there's a lot of ways things like that can be abused that we have to be careful of, because it does kind of it causes problems that can have a much more larger negative impact on the game if they exist than the positive impact they can have for existing as well. So like we have to be really, really, really careful with things like that. And I'd say it's unlikely that we'd add that to the game unless there was some other safeguard we could put in place. Yeah. And on that terrible disappointment, it's time to end. I do also, I missed the subreddit at the start of this, and I apologize. I just saw it right now. USA American, thank you very much for the 6-month resub. Appreciate having you here. You asked what charities the subs go to. They're right above my head. So Child's Play right now. We change it every once in a while. Child's Play is a pretty common one we do because we like it. Yeah. Thanks for coming out, everybody. Appreciate you. Hope you had fun. I know I did. I'll be back same time, same place next week. You can ask me more questions. Hopefully I'll have a little more to tease and show you. There is big stuff coming. There's exciting stuff coming. It's just not quite ready to be shared. I wish I could. I wish I had more stuff to share off the top for you. Let's go say hi to someone. See who's having some fun. Oh, here we go. Here we go. You want to see someone doing some crazy stuff? This is a good resource. And yeah, if I missed your question, I apologize. It's not intentional. We just run out of time sometimes. Head on over to our Discord. We have an Ask the Devs channel where we try and answer as much as we can there. Lots of great community members helping out as well with lots of awesome answers. And I'll be back next week. Thanks for coming out, everybody. Appreciate you. Have a great weekend. Bye.